Fortnite has had some incredible moments throughout its history, but not all primes are created equal. Today we're ranking the 5 levels of prime Fortnite, from decent all the way up to the GOAT level. So let's break down what made each era special and why some periods just hit different than others. Starting at level 1, we have Chapter 2 Remix from November 2024. Now don't get me wrong, calling this decent doesn't mean it was bad. This was actually a really solid short season that brought a ton of players back to the game. The whole vibe of this season was basically a celebration of Chapter 2 with a remix twist. We got rappers taking over the map, Snoop Dogg, Eminem, Ice Spice and Juice WRLD all showed up. The nostalgia factor definitely played a part, as everyone really enjoyed Chapter 2 and it was definitely one of the best times. The season brought back some familiar POIs from Chapter 2, but with updated twists. The hydraulics on the cars were absolutely insane. You could make your car bounce like a lowrider, and if you had Snoop Dogg's car with the radio on, it would literally start bouncing on its own. The attention to detail was pretty cool. We got the Rap God minigun that played the entire Eminem song while you were shooting it, which was such a cool feature as well, and Risky Reels came back and you could actually interact with cameras to replay the Snoop Dogg and Ice Spice live events if you missed them. The live event at the end with all the rappers performing was a great way to end off the season, but here's why this is only level 1. It was short and it was fun, but it didn't have that same impact as the other primes on this list. It was more of a nostalgia trip than a game-changing moment. The season lasted about a month, brought back players for a bit of fun, and then we moved on. Solid, but compared to what's coming on this list, it's the lowest tier of prime Fortnite, but still a great time. Now level 2 takes us to Fortnite OG in November 2023. Now this was when things got crazy. If Chapter 2 Remix brought back some players, Fortnite OG brought back everyone. Epic literally brought back the original Chapter 1 map, Tilted Towers, Pleasant Park, Retail Road, Dusty Depot, all of it. But it wasn't just a carbon copy. They kept the Chapter 3 movement mechanics and updated UI, so it felt smooth while still being nostalgic. The player counts during this month were absolutely insane. Fortnite said there were almost 45 million players when the season dropped. Literally everyone was back on the game. Including players who hadn't played since 2018, everyone was back online. The season progressed through different phases of Chapter 1, starting with the OG map and gradually updating it as the weeks went by. We got to relive the Meteor, Tilted Towers getting destroyed, all those classic moments compressed into 1 month, and the nostalgia was insane. The simplicity of the old loot pool felt so refreshing compared to the complicated metas we'd been dealing with. Everyone remembered why they really liked playing the game in the first place, but here's the thing, it only lasted a month. That's why it's level 2 and not higher. Although the player counts were massive and the nostalgia was definitely hitting, it was essentially a limited time event stretched into a season. It was incredible while it lasted, but it didn't have the staying power or the new content that makes a truly great Fortnite Prime. The Big Bang event at the end was really cool though, and it showed off all the collabs coming in Chapter 5. So Fortnite OG was good, really good, but we're just getting started. Level 3 brings us to Chapter 3 Season 1 during Winter 2021. This is where we started getting into the very good territory, because this season had everything clicking. First off, the brand new map. After being stuck on the Chapter 2 island for so long, getting a completely fresh map was exactly what the game needed. The map had great POIs, good rotation spots, and just felt fun to play on. Tilted Towers even came back towards the end of the season, which got everyone hyped, but the real star of this season was Spider-Man. The web shooters were some of the best mobility items ever added to the game. Swinging around the map like you were actually Spider-Man was so fun, and Epic absolutely nailed the mechanics. It genuinely felt like the Spider-Man games. You could swing through Tilted, rotate across the entire map, and get into fights from angles people never expected. The Daily Bugle was added as a full POI, which was a perfect recreation from the Spider-Man universe. You could find newspapers teasing the Green Goblin skin that would come later, and the whole season just felt like a love letter to Spider-Man fans, while still being an incredible season. The loot pool was really well balanced as well. We had a good mix of weapons without anything feeling too overpowered. The MK7 assault rifle was new and felt great to use. The shotgun meta was solid and you could actually find shields. Sometimes the simple things matter most. We also got sliding this season, which changed movement forever. Being able to slide down hills or into cover added a whole new layer to fights. It's one of the mechanics that once it was added, you can't imagine going back. The battle pass was stacked with the Foundation finally being revealed as The Rock, and of course Spider-Man. The storyline was picking up after The Rock flipped the island at the end of Chapter 2. The season lasted from December 2021 to March 2022, so we got a solid few months with this content. Player counts were really healthy, streamers were enjoying it, and the community was genuinely happy with the state of the game. So why is this level 3 and not higher? Well, it was a great season, but it didn't quite have the cultural impact or the absolutely perfect storm of content that the top 2 levels have. It was very good, probably one of the best seasons in the game's history, but the next 2 levels, they're just on a completely different level. So this is what leads us to level 4, and this is where we get into the great territory. And we're talking about Chapter 1 Season 3, 4 and 5. This was peak 2018 Fortnite, when the game was absolutely everywhere. Let's start with Season 3 in early 2018. This is when Fortnite became truly mainstream. It wasn't just a popular game, it was the game. Everyone knew about it, the news was covering it, and kids were doing Fortnite dances at school and getting in trouble for it. John Wick's skin dropped and everyone wanted it. Ninja was blown up on Twitch, then he played with Drake and broke the internet, destroying the Twitch viewership record. Tilted Towers was the spot, half the lobby was landing there every game. The adrenaline rush of landing Tilted, getting a gun and trying to survive the absolute chaos was unmatched. If you made it out of Tilted with a few eliminations, you felt like the king. This was also when the build and meta started evolving. People were learning how to build fight properly. Myth was doing things with building that seemed impossible at the time. The skill gap was growing, but it wasn't so massive that casual players felt completely left behind. Then Season 4 dropped in May 2018 and somehow made things even bigger. A meteor crashed into Dusty Depot and created Dusty Divot. Hop rocks made you jump higher, shopping carts were added as the first vehicle, but the biggest moment was the first ever live event in gaming history. The rocket launch changed everything. Millions of players loaded into the game at the same exact time to watch a rocket launch into the sky, fly around the map and crack open a rift. Nobody had ever seen anything like this before, but that wasn't it. We also got the Thanos crossover, where you could literally become Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet, the first major collab in Fortnite history, and in my opinion, still the best LTM to this day. Season 5 continued the momentum in summer 2018. The map kept evolving with Paradise Palms, Viking Village, and Lazy Links. ATKs let you drive around with your squad. Rifts became a permanent mobility option. The cube that we all named Kevin showed up and started rolling around the map, which created this ongoing mystery that had everyone talking. But beyond the content, this was the cultural moment for Fortnite. Summer 2018, everyone was playing. Your friends, your siblings, streamers, celebrities, athletes, literally everyone. Fortnite dances were everywhere. The game had completely taken over pop culture in a way that we might never see again with any other game. So why is this level 4 and not level 5? Well, as incredible as this era was, there's one prime that managed to be even better. The content, the storyline, the pure gameplay experience of the #1 spot edges this out. But don't get me wrong, this was one of my favorite eras in gaming history, but it just misses out to the prime coming in at level 5 with the GOAT status. It is Chapter 2 Season 2 to Chapter 2 Season 4, also known as Quarantine Fortnite. Let me set the scene. It's 2020, everyone's stuck at home because of quarantine, and Epic Games decides to drop the best stretch of Fortnite content we've ever seen. The timing was absolutely perfect, and the content was even more perfect. Chapter 2 Season 2 dropped in February 2020, and it is, to this day, considered by many to be the single best season we've ever had. Everything about this was amazing. The agency showed up in the middle of the map as the massive spy headquarters, but it wasn't just a cool POI. Epic introduced the boss and henchman system that completely changed how the game worked. 5 bosses scattered around the map at different locations: Midas at the agency, Brutus at the grotto, Tiantina at the rig, Meowscles at the yacht, and Sky at the shark. Each boss dropped a mythic weapon and a keycard. The mythic weapons were powerful and unique: Midas's drum gun, Brutus's minigun, Tiantina's boombow, Meowscles' Piao Piao rifle, and Sky's assault rifle and grappler. These weren't just slightly better versions of normal guns, they felt special and powerful, and getting one completely changed how you played the match. The keycards let you into vaults at each location, which had insane loot, but here's the thing, you had to actually fight the boss and the henchman to get in. It created this risk-reward system that made every match feel different. Do you drop at a boss location and try to get the mythic early? Do you wait and try the third party? Or do you avoid it completely? The henchmen were AI enemies that would attack you if you weren't wearing a disguise. You could knock henchmen and shake them down to reveal where other players were, and you could disguise yourself in phone booths and sneak around the POI. You could even hire henchmen to fight alongside you. The amount of gameplay variety that was added was insane. Helicopters were also added this season as well, giving you a way to fly around the map and get rotations that you could never get before. The loot pool was perfectly balanced, with pumps, tacs, and charged shotgun being introduced. Siphon was in arena, so competitive players were happy, and casual players had the mythics and fun boss fights. And we haven't even gone to the battle pass. Midas, Meowscles, Tiantina, Sky, and Deadpool. The Deadpool challenges were hidden in a secret room that you accessed through the vents in the menu. Another great feature. Each week we had new Deadpool challenges with their own little story. Then the Doomsday event happened, which ended off the season, and this was a great event. But this brings us to Chapter 2 Season 3 in June 2020. The entire map was flooded, swimming became way more important, and sharks were in the water and you could actually ride them. The water slowly drained throughout the season, revealing new areas and changing the map as it progressed. New locations like the Fortilla, Catty Corner, and Coral Castle appeared. The boss and mythic system continued with different characters and weapons. Cars were finally added to the game, which was huge. The charged shotgun became more popular as people learned how to use it, and the season just had a more chill vibe because everyone was still in quarantine and just enjoying the game. Streamers were pulling insane viewer counts because everyone was home watching streams, your friends were all online every day, and the community was thriving. Then in August 2020, it got even better with Chapter 2 Season 4 dropping. And this was a full Marvel crossover season. We had so much new content this season. Stark Industries was a brand new POI, with Tony Stark as a mythic boss, which was an incredible boss as well, with the mythic weapons. Doctor Doom took over Pleasant Park, which became Doom's Domain, and we had many other bosses roaming around the map, with their own mythic items, including She-Hulk, Groot, Storm, and Mystique, as well as Wolverine in Weeping Woods. The mythic superpowers were incredible. We had Iron Man's Repulsor gauntlets, Doctor Doom's gauntlets and bomb, Silver Surfer's surfboard, Groot's bramble shield, Storm's tornado, and Black Panther's kinetic armor. Every single one felt unique and powerful. The Marvel punch cards gave you challenges for each character. The battle pass was stacked with Thor, Iron Man, She-Hulk, and all the other bosses. Wolverine was a secret skin, and the pump shotgun came back this season, which made a lot of players happy. The loot pool had a good mix of Marvel items and regular Fortnite weapons. Competitive players had Arena and FNCS. Casual players had all the Marvel content to explore and play with, and everyone was happy. And the season ended with the Galactus event, which was one of the most ambitious live events Fortnite has ever done. So why is this the GOAT Prime? Because everything aligned perfectly. The content across all 3 seasons was top tier. The timing with quarantine meant more people were playing and watching than ever before. Seasons 2, 3 and 4 each brought something unique whilst maintaining the quality. The mythics and boss system added so much depth to gameplay. The storyline was progressing in interesting ways, streamers were thriving, viewer counts were massive, and the community was genuinely happy with the game. So there you have it, the 5 levels of Prime Fortnite. From the decent Chapter 2 remix, to the good Fortnite OG, the very good Chapter 3 Season 1, the great Chapter 1 Seasons 3 to 5, and the GOAT Prime that is Quarantine Fortnite with Chapter 2 Seasons 2 through 4. Each of these primes brought something special to the game, but that 2020 stretch during quarantine, nothing has touched it. So what do you think? Do you agree with this ranking? Or do you think another era deserves to be higher? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And for now, there's a load more videos on screen here. Make sure to click another one to keep on watching, and I'll see you over there.